I thought my dad was the monster, until I saw what my mom was dragging out the back door. The last time I saw my father alive, he called me a fucking junkie and locked me in my room. Sleep was a joke. Every time my eyes closed, I was back there at my Uncle Zoran's farm, the one my mother never wanted us to visit, the one with the pigs that screamed like people. I'd wake up clawing at my sheets, the smell of rust and mud thick in my nose, my heart hammering a hole in my ribs. After the third time, I gave up. I slumped into my computer chair and just sat in the dark, watching the shadows crawl across the walls, thinking about how my life had gone so completely sideways. Then my bladder started screaming. A hot, urgent pressure. The door was locked, of course, for my own good. I stared at it, the brass knob seeming to mock me. A prisoner in my own bedroom. Fuck that. I went to the window, fumbled with the latch, and slid it open. The night air was cold. Below was the small garden my dad, Valeriu, had planted. Marigolds, bright orange and yellow. I pissed all over them. Watched the stream darken the soil under the moonlight. It was a small, pathetic rebellion, but it was something. I closed the window and sat back down, the minutes stretching into hours until the sky began to bleed from black to gray. At 6, the lock on my door gave a loud, metallic crack. The light flicked on, blinding me. Valerius stood there, his shoulders stiff, his face a mask of stone. No knock. No, can I come in? Addicts don't get courtesy, I guess. You're already up, he said. It wasn't a question. He sniffed the air. What poison did you put in your body this time? I rubbed my eyes. The grit felt like sand. What do you want, Dad? It's Saturday, he said, his voice flat, like a machine reading a script. You were supposed to come to the site with me. But you look like shit, you're a liability. We start tomorrow. Tomorrow, I echoed. What about my schoolwork? Your mother called the school. You have an extra period now to handle your assignments. You are not getting out of this, Iosef. This is what I want. He corrected himself, but I heard the slip. What your mother wants. He was just her mouthpiece now. The man who taught me how to ride a bike was gone, replaced by this hollowed-out soldier. Now listen. You will wake at 9:30. You will walk Kasia, our old German shepherd. Walking her to the end of the driveway was a 30-minute project. At 11, homework begins. At 1, Kasia goes out again. At 1:30, you make lunch for yourself. Sandwiches, nothing on the stove. The list went on. An impossible, minute-by-minute schedule designed to break me. He spoke for what felt like an hour, his eyes empty, his words a monotone drone. When I get home, he finished, you will be in this room. The door will be shut. I don't want to hear a sound out of you. I will conduct a search for narcotics at 5. Understood? Yes, I mumbled. What was that? The anger was there now, a flicker of heat in the frozen tundra of his face. He took a step into the room. You will speak clearly to me. Yes, I said, louder. My voice cracked. He gave me one last look, a look that held nothing, no recognition, no love, and then he turned and left, pulling the door shut behind him. I listened. I waited for the sound I was expecting. The heavy clack of the deadbolt. It never came. My heart stuttered. He forgot. He actually forgot. For a moment, I just sat there, my breath caught in my chest. This was it. This was my chance. I had to move, and I had to move now, before she realized his mistake. Step 1. Get out. I rose from the chair, my joints creaking. I tiptoed to the door, my bare feet silent on the wood floor. My hand shook as I reached for the knob. I turned it, slow, careful not to make a sound. It gave way. The latch clicked back, soft as a whisper. Freedom. I eased the door open and slipped into the hallway. The house was cold, silent. My head turned toward the living room, and I saw her, a shape in the darkness, my mother, Anka. She was sitting on the sofa, bolt upright in her housecoat, perfectly still in the pre-dawn gloom. Just the silhouette against the gray windows. Something was wrong. The silence in the house wasn't empty, it was heavy. Then I heard it, a sound that didn't belong. A wet, rhythmic drip, 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 coming from somewhere near the coffee table. I flattened myself against the wall opposite my room, my mouth suddenly dry. I watched her. She stood, her movements stiff and bent down, out of my line of sight. When she straightened up, she was holding something, or someone. She started to walk backward, her bare feet making wet, sticky sounds on the hardwood floor, dragging an immense weight. She cleared the edge of the sofa, and I saw him. It was my father. The framing hammer from the garage, the one with the waffle head he was so proud of, was buried in the side of his skull. Blood matted his hair, ran in rivers down his face. His torso was a mess of shallow, angry slashes, like someone had gone at him with a box cutter. A pair of his own black socks were knotted together and shoved deep into his mouth, the ends wrapped tight around his head. My stomach tried to climb out of my throat. I choked it back down, stuffing my fist in my mouth to stifle the sound. The taste was hot and acidic. I was watching my mother dispose of my father's body. She dragged him through the living room, leaving a wide, dark smear in her wake. Into the kitchen. The back door slid open with a soft groan, then shut. She was gone. My legs finally worked. I scrambled back into my room, my whole body shaking. I grabbed my laptop, flipped it open. No internet. Of course. I grabbed the landline on my desk. A dead, hollow tone. The bitch had thought of everything. My mind raced. Evidence. I need evidence. I tore out a piece of paper and scribbled down everything I saw, my handwriting a spastic, unreadable mess. When I was done, I shoved the paper deep into my jeans pocket. I had to see. I had to know. I crept out of my room again, down the hall to my parents' bedroom. The door was ajar. I pushed it open. The room was destroyed. The mattress was flipped, the dresser drawers torn out and scattered. And the walls. The words weren't written. They were carved into the drywall, deep and vicious. Lie ahowhere. Whore. Filth. Over and over the looping script of a furious child. It looked like a struggle, a violent, desperate one. A sound from the kitchen. The back door. She was coming back. I melted back into the hallway, pressing myself into the shadows. I heard her footsteps, slow and measured. I risked a peek around the corner. She was back in the living room. She wore my father's work boots, caked in mud and something dark. She was humming. A lullaby from her childhood, one she used to sing to me. The tune was soft, but it echoed in the silent house like a scream. Blood soaked the front of her robe. It was smeared around her mouth. She sat on the arm of the ruined sofa and methodically unlaced the boots, placing them neatly by the door. She stood up, smoothed the front of her robe with a calm, deliberate motion. Then she turned. Her head swiveled slowly, mechanically, toward the hallway, toward me. Her eyes were black holes in her pale face, empty of everything, and they were looking right at me. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's not it. I was wrong. She didn't just fall from the tree. She brought the whole goddamn poisoned orchard with her.